Hello, hello, my fellow anglers and outdoor enthusiasts. It's your friend and fishing expert here, ready to dive into what promises to be an intriguing day on the water. Today we're casting our lines into the crystal clear, albeit chilly, waters of Ireland, looking ahead to Friday, the 17th of January 2026. Now, many of you might be thinking, January? That's a time for cozy firesides, not fishing. But my friends, this day holds some unique opportunities for those brave and prepared. We're facing a classic Irish winter's day, which means cold temperatures, a chance of light precipitation, and some brisk winds. But here's the twist. The subtle shifts in pressure and the approaching new moon could stir up some serious action for our target species. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to turn a chilly winter's day into a memorable fishing adventure. All right, let's talk tactics for some of Ireland's most resilient winter warriors. First up, the undisputed king of our freshwaters in winter, the mighty pike. These magnificent predators absolutely thrive in the cold, and on the 17th of January they'll be actively cruising the deeper sections of our larger lofts and slower-moving rivers. Don't waste your time in the shallows. My experience tells me to focus on depths of 3 to 5 meters, especially along drop-offs, any remaining pockets of weed beds that still offer cover, and submerged features like old river bends or sunken trees. The key, my friends, is patience and a slow, tantalizing presentation. Forget fast, flashy retrieves, they're conserving energy. A well-presented deadbait, think a ledgered herring or mackerel, placed right on the bottom, will be your best friend. Alternatively, a large soft plastic lure worked agonizingly slowly with long pauses can also provoke a strike. Next, for those dedicated and truly brave enough, we have the majestic Atlantic salmon, specifically the early-running springers. January 1st traditionally marks the opening of the salmon season on a handful of Ireland's iconic rivers, such as the Drowse in the northwest or the River Lorne in County Kerry. These fish are true fighters and are often some of the largest of the season. You'll need to target deeper pools and runs, especially those with good holding water after any recent rains. Fly fishing with heavy flies like a black-eyed prawn or willy gun, or spinning with classic salmon lures like a toby or flying sea can be productive. The key here, from my experience, is immense patience and a deep understanding of your chosen river. These early fish are often just moving through, so it's all about being in the right place at the right time, presenting your offering perfectly, and waiting for that telltale pull. And finally, for my sea angling companions, cod and whiting are definitely on the cards along the Irish coast. Thanks to the relatively warmer sea temperatures, these coastal opportunities are always there, even in the depths of winter. Cod fishing can be excellent, especially on the south coast, particularly after a good storm has stirred up the seabed, uncovering tasty morsels. Whiting are readily available from beaches and rocky headlands, especially where there's a good surf running. Head to sandy beaches or rocky headlands, particularly where there's a good surf running. Simple bottom rigs with lugworm, ragworm or strips of mackerel are your best bet. Remember, after a good storm has stirred up the seabed, cod fishing can be excellent. They'll be closer to shore at this time of year, so look for them over sandy or stony beaches, as well as around reefs and larger estuaries. Now let's break down the conditions for the 17th of January 2026, so you understand why these tactics are going to work. The weather we're looking at is a classic Irish winter's day. The forecast predicts daytime temperatures hovering around 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, dropping to a chilly 3 degrees overnight. We're expecting very light precipitation, around 0.2 millimeters, so mostly dry, but expect overcast skies. Wind speeds will be moderate, around 28 to 29 kilometers per hour, likely from a northerly direction, keeping things feeling crisp. The atmospheric pressure is likely to be stable, which is generally a good sign for fishing, although the cold will still keep things slow. Water temperatures in our inland lofts and rivers will be quite cold, likely ranging from 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. Our coastal sea temperatures, however, will be a touch milder, averaging around 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, slightly above the long-term average for this time of year, especially around places like Dublin. This cold water directly impacts fish metabolism, slowing it right down. They won't be as keen to chase, making static and subtle presentations more effective. As for the moon phase, on the 17th of January, we're greeted by a waning crescent moon, with a very small illumination of just 1 to 2%. This means we're only about 1 day away from the new moon. Many old-timers, myself included, believe that the period leading up to a new moon can be a time of weaker tides and potentially less feeding activity, as the lunar pull for tides is at its weakest. However, some deep-water species, particularly predators, might still be active. Overall fish activity, given the cold air temperatures, very cold water, and a waning crescent moon, will be on the capricious to moderate side. The cold temperatures will generally slow things down and fish will be in their winter holding patterns, feeding but not voraciously. However, the stable weather conditions and the prospect of a new moon approaching can offer a glimmer of hope for dedicated anglers. Predatory species like pike and early salmon, along with hardy sea species like cod and whiting, are still very much catchable if you adapt your tactics. It's a day for the patient, but those who put in the effort could be handsomely rewarded with a fantastic winter specimen. So there you have it, my fellow anglers. Friday, the 17th of January 2026, in Ireland offers a chilly but intriguing start to the angling calendar. Go out there, stay warm, be patient, and remember, every cast is a new opportunity. Tight lines, and may your nets be heavy. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming tips and tricks. What are your plans for fishing in January? Have you had any memorable winter catches? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I love hearing from you all.